Live, more or less, from Las Vegas. I'm Rick Rosen with Mark Anthony. This is Good Sports. What's happening, Mark?
Oh, God, what a day in sports. Holy cow.
Yeah, this
Even,
last 24 hours has been something to behold. It
even for
really,
those of us that
you know,
are just on the peripherals of it, you're going, really? Come on.
here's what, if you live in a cave under a rock or both. I mean, maybe you live under a rock in a cave. You would not have heard that the Rams acquired the Titans' #1 draft pick, and the Rams are going to take a quarterback. So it's either going to be Wentz or Goff. I think the other kid's name is Goff. From California. Wentz is from North Dakota State. There's all this conjecture. Is one of them the next Peyton Manning or the next John Elway or the next Joe Montana or the next Ryan Leaf? Ryan Leaf is the one that didn't fit there because he was such a bust. So that has taken the Rams gave up a whole lot. The Tennessee Titans are going to be really good because they have 6 of the first 76 draft picks this year alone. You can do a lot of restocking when they give you a really big shopping cart at the front counter. 6 of the first 76. Just think of that, Mark. That's like 1 for every 5 of every. Bang, bang, bang. Here they are. So. It's going to be something to behold, to watch how they maneuver, and they might trade one for some more. They've got some back to back, so they can really now. Do they have enough money to pay all these cats down the road? But I think you're going to see the Tennessee Titans make a pretty good move forward with giving up the first pick, and they didn't want the quarterback anyway. They've got Marcus Mariota, and they got their quarterback, so that happened. Then last 24. Then, when in no particular order, the Boston Celtics were playing the Miami Heat, and both teams in the playoffs where their seeding was already. I don't think they knew at the time, but both of their seeding spots in the playoffs were already set. Yet they played a great game. Miami was up by 26, and Boston made the biggest comeback of the year in the NBA in that game. And come back and won it by 10. I'm pretty sure they won by 10. So that's the biggest comeback of the year. Happened on the last day of the regular season, and the Celtics came back over the Miami Heat by 26 points. Okay, that's pretty spectacular. It was nothing, comparatively speaking. Then you had and this is where the question comes in. That is undoubtedly third place. Think of what I just said. Oh, it was the best one of those all frickin' year long. It was on the way out the door for the regular season, and it's third. Okay, so second is where the vote comes in, and you can flip a coin, and you're going to be right. Even if it lands on its edge, you're still going to be right, because I don't know how you value one more than the other. Kobe Bryant is the only player to have played his entire 20-year career, 20 years or more, with one team. Kevin Garnett has 21 seasons. And so Kobe's never going to, I don't think anyone will ever break that. But it was not always, it was started with the Timberwolves and then went to the Celtics and now back with the T-Wolves and wherever they went to Brooklyn for a while. And so he's been around. He's been on the Larry Brown tour. But Kobe Bryant played all 20 years with the Lakers, and he was that transition. My God, not only was he a transition from Magic Johnson and the Showtime Lakers into the present day LeBron James. He went through the Michael Jordan era and the LeBron James era, and his Kobe and Shaq era is in there somewhere. He won 5 championships. Think of how many that is. That means he averaged 1 every 4 years in his 20-year career, and they haven't been there for a while. His average has come down these last few years, and as I said on our show earlier, Mark, I thought very much out of personal experience that once Kobe tore that Achilles, there is no getting it back to how it was. There is getting it good, there's getting it okay, there is no getting it back to how it was, and Kobe always played with 100%, Mark. I think you and I saw that at Basketball USA when we were able to see Kobe up close and personal, playing against all-star caliber competition at every single practice. And I'm amazed. I was looking at some of the photos last night, going to find some that are up on the Good Sports Facebook page. And they were doing exercises. They were doing calisthenics before. And Kobe had his knees higher. And was doing it more quickly than the other guys on the. And we're talking about LeBron James and Chris Paul and I mean the guys that are basketball now. And here's Kobe Bryant, and he's the old man, and he's got his legs up higher than these young bucks, and that's how he made that 20 years. And we saw Kobe Bryant compete at the highest level, and I don't that career. I don't think it'll ever be equaled, Mark. So. He not only the Lakers have had a crap season. They had only won 16 games. And out of an 82 game season, that ain't very frickin' many. And Kobe deserved better. And the only way for Kobe Bryant to go out the winner that he deserved to be was to win the NBA championship, make his last game a victory, and beat the Golden State Warriors somehow, and then win the NBA championship, maybe over the Boston Celtics for good measure. That would have been the absolute ultimate fairy book tale. That's the only way Kobe goes out a winner, except the Lakers are crap all year long. They don't make the playoffs. And in Kobe's last game, he goes for 60 points. It's the most points anyone has ever scored in their finale on the way out. It's the most points anybody's ever scored in their finale. It is the most points scored on the last day of the season. And they won the frickin' game. They came from behind. It would have been the comeback of the century, or at least talked about like that, if it wasn't for the Celtics doing even a whole lot better than that on their comeback. So, and then you have Golden State Warriors, Mark, who win their 73rd game. They only lost 9 games, the first team in NBA history not to have double-digit losses over the course of a regular season. Oh, my God. They are the defending champions. They've had the they didn't sneak up on anybody. They've had the target on their backs from day one. And here they are, man, 73-9. So I don't know how I guess the only thing that you would think that could possibly have any kind of importance, it would be for UNLV's freaking coach to leave for a week on the job, because the Texas Tech job, where he'd been an assistant for a long time, certainly the longest place, the place he was located the longest was at Texas Tech, and when he was a Bobby Knight assistant. So he spent 10 years there. So now Tubby Smith gets hired to go to Memphis, where our friend John Calipari left to go to Kentucky. And here's the next domino falling is Chris Beard just didn't wait long enough. He was at Arkansas Little Rock and was certainly obviously ready to leave. He came to UNLV, but now his dream job is opened up at Texas Tech. His daughters all live in the area. He's got a lot more there than he has going for him here. And he wasn't all that warmly received, by me included. Here in Las Vegas, I think he just kind of thought, "Wow, I'm the guy here at the ball at the black tie affair, and I'm wearing brown shoes." And I think that's kind of what Chris Beard felt like there for a little bit. It was an odd fit, Mark. So other than that, there wasn't diddly squat happening in sports.
That was it. Nothing else. It was just a boring week. Wow. Hey, well, let's start with Kobe, because
what's the biggest? Hey, you got 5 to choose from. What's the biggest story?
Kobe. Yeah. No matter what, Kobe always just played like it's, I mean, it's like I said, he always played with his heart. This was the love of his game. Where does he go from here?
Yeah. Oh, I think Kobe's very secure. I don't know how many people stayed and watched or left it on, watched the press conference following his last game. They asked him some questions in Spanish, and Kobe, very fluent in Spanish, answered back, and then just went back to the English questions. And a Turkish reporter thanked him for acknowledging them and making them feel a part of the press conferences, because I believe he was able to answer a question in Turkish. I don't think Kobe Bryant wants to or needs to sit in a broadcast booth and do a game and cut everybody else up. because they're not going to be Kobe. I think he's satisfied in doing what he's doing, and he's certainly got plenty of money. You know, this gorgeous wife, the two girls, they were all there last night. It's cool. God bless Kobe. I hope he does. I hope he buys an island if that's what he wants to do and retires there. You know, I think he's earned that right. My goodness, what he has meant to basketball. And in spite of the things that, you know, the human frailties that he has and has displayed and has atoned for and has, why the hell are other people pissed off about him screwing around on his wife, which is what he did. He didn't do rape. He did do screw around. If she's not pissed off at him, why do I care? I mean, and I don't. But why do other people? That's what I don't understand, Mark. So that was some of the detraction. But Kobe had a wonderful night out. He, out the door. Out. He enjoyed it. He didn't get incredibly emotional. Magic Johnson introduced him as the greatest Laker. I'm not certain everybody agrees with that. I think a lot of people think that belongs to Magic or Kareem or, you know, several of the other people, Elgin Baylor, Jerry West. There's a pretty damn long list. They should have an entire wing at the Hall of Fame for Lakers alone. It's been an incredible franchise, and to think that Kobe Bryant, is the best of them all, I'm not certain that's the truth, Mark, but he sure as hell is one of the best of all time. We were very fortunate to see him for 20 years. Now, these last couple of years have been painful, but you know, when Johnny Unitas quit, he was with the Chargers, and he couldn't throw a football from you to your driveway, and it was tough to watch. Joe Namath finished up as a Los Angeles Ram, and it was tough to watch. He couldn't play for the team that he was his team anymore, and none of them could. And Kobe stayed with the Lakers and saw them through this crap season. And it wasn't all because of Kobe. He tore his Achilles a couple of years ago, and that has led to other things, but he just wasn't Kobe anymore. But yet he tried tutoring the youngsters and showed them this is how you play and this is how this is how you enjoy your life. All about basketball. So, anyway, the wind wanted in. Well, nice and breezy today, by the way.
Oh, it's a beautiful day here.
Yeah, so go ahead. I just think that Kobe's going to do something that may not be mainstream what other NBA players or ex-athletes do.
I see him. You kind of hit on it there that he's probably going to help mentor and coach the next generation, or do something with the youth, because that just seemed. I mean, when he was here for Basketball USA, that's what he did. Even with the opposing team, he gave, he would give those guys a little motivation to do better. He's not all me. It's the game. And you don't see that in a lot of players.
No, you don't. And Mark, I think the sign of respect that we both were witness to came at Basketball USA. I haven't been fortunate to see many Lakers games. I wish I could have. But at Basketball USA, when all the players are around and they have all four baskets going, and when guys are on the side or they're waiting for their turn in the lines, when LeBron gets the ball, it's not like they look the other way. But if they're looking, they're looking. Kevin Durant, same thing. Stephen Curry, same thing. Kobe Bryant, and people's heads, they just kind of take a pause in what they're saying, and their heads would turn and watch Kobe Bryant with the basketball. There was something, Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo were both really good artists. But which one was better? Well, at the moment, it was just one of those things when you said, hey, everybody else, this is a really neat art class, but I'm going to watch Michelangelo because he's got the brush in his hand right now. And that was Kobe with the basketball. That was his brush. And the things that he did, and he translated those over to defense, Mark, which very few guys are willing to do. Michael Jordan was a tremendous defender. They use their athletic ability to know what they do in a certain situation, and they're able to flip that over and know what the guy with the ball can or can't do. and so that makes him a tremendous defensive player. But it takes work, it takes effort. That's the thing that I think separated Kobe as much as his offense was. Not only did he outscore you, but he held you below your average. He was a tremendous defensive player. So, I mean, his plus-minus ratio was way, way the hell up there. And, if he'd had 67 points instead of 60 last night, he would have finished at the absolute 25.000 for his average, scoring average. So he finished 6 points shy. So he's 24.9997 or something like that. It's way the heck down there. So we're going to give him 25, and God bless him. And, here we go, Mark. Yeah, I asked you what was the most important. What about the defending champions who've had the target on their back all season long because they are the defending champions? That's why back-to-back's tougher than first time. That's why there are fewer back-to-back champions than there are most anything else. There's first-time winners. There's this, there's that. Rookie quarterbacks doing this and blah, blah, blah. But when you go back-to-back, it's something special. And these guys, man, it doesn't look like it's going to be anything other than, to me, I think there are 4 legitimate teams with legitimate chances. The Cleveland Cavaliers, the San Antonio Spurs, the Oklahoma City Thunder are all chasing after the Golden State Warriors. And unless there's injuries or something, illness, some kind of virus going around or something like that, that would be that wild card thing in this, Mark. I can't imagine that anybody's got enough to beat them. I mean, they seem to get along well. They seem to do the little things that are necessary for a team to do to go back to back. They play very well together. They get along with their coach. Missed the first half of the season. The assistant coach, Luke Walton, gets them, halfway there. He's going to be gone. He's going to be a head coach somewhere. He's earned it. But this is a well-oiled machine. I like, people always ask me, who's your favorite team? The one that plays well. Well, I'll tell you what, the Golden State Warriors play pretty well. They play the game of basketball like it's supposed to be played. Stephen Curry Babe Ruth, when Roger Maris broke Babe Ruth's record, nobody really wanted to see that. Stephen Curry, it just was kind of, you can't do that to Babe Ruth. Steph Curry last night he broke the 400 barrier, which is like, or maybe the 3-minute mile compared, or the, it's just incredible feat. 402, I believe it is, 3-pointers in a season. They play 82 games. The second game, he's averaging somewhere in the, That's an incredible athletic feat. And his little brother, by the way, is going to be in the NBA pretty soon. He's playing in college. Seth Curry, I think is his name.
Curry?
I don't know why I was having a tough time with that. My tongue wanted to do a zig, and I needed it to zag. Anyhow, speaking of that, Mary's on her way over, so we could have cocktail. Anyhow,
not all of us.
The Golden State Warriors and the way they've gone about this, it's like Steph Curry and the 3-point shot. That's what he's going to do. How the hell did he get to 402? That's what the guy's doing it successfully 10 times a game. If that's 30 points. So anyhow, Steph Curry, just an amazing part of a great team, coached by a coach who was coached by Phil Jackson, played alongside Michael Jordan, and knows how to kind of deal with all the egos and this and that. And it's going to be a tough deal for anybody to knock them off. Here's the only way I see Golden State losing is if they have to do a back-to-back 7-gamer. If they sweep somebody, if they go 4-1 or something like that in the first round that they have to play in the playoffs, I think they're golden. If they get taken to 7, I think it'll make them go longer that second series, Mark, which would be to play for the championship, or for the right to play for the championship. And if they do that in their conference championship, they get taken to 6 or 7 games, then even if they make the finals from that, I think they would be kind of prime for the picking. It's going to take a good set of circumstances. The San Antonio Spurs are a tremendous, what a hell of a team. You talk about getting lost in the shuffle. Man, San Antonio, and I got to tell you, I will inform you exactly how many of what they got this year. It's just incredible, Mark, how a team that good has flown under the radar, which just absolutely falls right into their exact plan of what Popovich likes to do with his team. You know, Percy Harvin, by the way, is retiring from the NFL at 27. Ex-Florida Gator who just always kind of been an oddball and maybe not the best guy to have in your locker room, but a heck of a talent. So anyway, okay. As we were talking about this San Antonio Spurs team, I mean, I don't know how else you would call it, but flying under the radar.
Yes.
To think that they've I believe they got 70, Mark, and you know, if not, they got 69, and that's, you know, I think there's only been 3 teams that have gotten 70 victories or more. Let me see: Toronto, Cleveland, Miami, Oklahoma City, Golden State, 73, San Antonio, 67 victories. That's they only lost 15 times. They're at a 817 winning percentage. You know, that 800 of it, imagine that. 817 winning percentage, 67 victories is a tremendous season. And here they are. And I think they only lost once at home also. So,
wow.
You know, there's just, yeah. And between yesterday and today, it's been a tremendous, what a adrenaline rush if you're a sports junkie, you know, so, and I am. I know you're not. How the hell did you end up doing a sports talk show?
Some guy in a bar talked me into it. He was, there. Was
it a strip club?
Somebody said, "Here, hold my beer and watch this." Okay. You know, it's always alcohol.
Okay. Speaking of bars.
Speaking of, yes.
Ted Cruz and Donald Trump are sitting in a bar having a beer after one of the debates. And this guy walks in, and the bar's pretty much empty except for them two. And he looks at the bartender. He says, "Is that Trump and Cruz?" And the bartender says, "Yeah." He says, "Wow, that's amazing, man." So he goes down. He says, "Guy," he says, "it's incredible that you guys are here." He says, "You debate?" He says, "Yeah, we have a question for you." So he says, "What is it?" And Trump says, "There's 40 million Muslims, and we're going to kill them all, and a blonde with big tits." And the guy says, "Why would you kill the blonde with big tits?" And Trump says, "See, I told you they don't care about 40 million Muslims." And so that was that was your gun control thing, I suppose. There's your Trump joke, Mark. I didn't say I invented the joke. I heard the joke. Do you have one? You can, I believe under the Equal Fair Time Act or whatever, you can tell an Obama joke.
Hey, I just like, you know, Hillary and Bernie are in a sinking ship. Who survives?
Aren't we all?
America.
Hillary and Bernie are in a sinking ship. Who survives? America. That's good. That's good. Okay. Are we going to invite more input on the jokes there? That's not bad. You should. Speaking of jokes, our friend Ron Kentowski from the Las Vegas Review-Journal does not think highly of the administration at UNLV and how they've gone about this process with the basketball program, the storied basketball program. the house that Tark built, the whole shooting match there, Mark, and they have screwed it up about as totally as you can. Even if Chris Beard does not leave now, he's been stunted in this recruiting year already. And most of his team, I think there's only 3 kids that are still coming back from this year's team. Half of them left to go elsewhere, including the NBA. They've declared for the NBA. Steven Zimmerman, the 7-footer. So the cupboard is bare, man. I mean, the kid that was the team manager that always wanted to be like Rudy is going to get his shot. They don't have anybody, and he's going to, whoever the coach is already behind the 8 ball because everybody else has started. So even if he doesn't leave, if Beard doesn't leave, people are going to use that against him, and they will use anything that they can to recruit against you. So, it's just a terrible set of circumstances. If he goes, the next guy is going to be even further behind. And you would hope that it would be somebody like Augman, who they finally get their heads out of their butts and say, okay, because Stacy was already recruiting. So he has some kids that haven't signed yet that are still, he's on their radar. Okay, they got it right here and blah, blah, blah. That seems to me to be the only logical out for them, Mark, at this point. Other than that, I think it's going to be abysmal. So that's my reasoning. But
God, it's just like, okay, you had the agreement to coach. Why are you even looking elsewhere? Why?
Well, okay, I'll tell you why. I don't think he looked elsewhere, but when it came open, it's where he was Bobby Knight's assistant for 10 years at Texas Tech. And it's where he started his sojourn to get around. And now all of a sudden it came open. It's like you're standing at the altar and all of a sudden your ex-girlfriend's running down the aisle. Don't do it. Don't do it. I decided to give you my virginity. And you're like, oh, crap. So I think that's what's happened to Chris Beard. I don't hold that against him, Mark. There's no loyalty from the colleges to the coaches near as much, and if the guy can move and get a better deal and he only has to stay there 1 year, okay, I guess, but he will. But his kids are there, and it makes sense for him to go to Texas Tech. UNLV should never have had Chris Beard in the first damn place. They had Stacey Augman on board, and they could have done the right thing and chose not to, Mark, and then they screwed that up. You know what I mean? When you choose something that everybody is saying, no, don't pick door 1, don't pick door 1, and you take door 1, and it's a zonk. Okay, everybody was hollering, take the trip. You know what I mean? And yes. So I don't know what's going to come out of this, Mark. I think they have made a large number of athletic gaffe after error, after F up, after snafu, after screw up, after, oh my God, when does it end and who does it end with? There seems to be no accountability. Our newspaper, our lead sports writer for the newspaper, one of 2, him and Ed Graney, Ron Kantowski, called the regents of our university charlatans. Them are fighting words where I come from. That's not something you want. You want the perception to be of your university, the people in charge of running that university. And they named Chris Beard the coach, and then it took I think close to 10 days, Mark, if not more, for them to get around to okaying the contract. And this is a multi-million-dollar thing they talked about, and they had to go over. So you didn't know beforehand. You didn't have the attorney saying, hey, instead of going for drinks tonight, read this. It's a contract. We have to get it to this guy so we don't screw up our recruiting. I mean, so they're so naive about the process that it takes to have a major basketball program in the NCAAs that they were not aware of this problem that they were causing by their ineptitude. Well, I've got a tea time at 2:00, so we'll just have to postpone it till tomorrow. There was not that time. Idiocy. Chris Beard's style did not fit UNLV, what we're accustomed to, Mark, and kind of what we demand. I think that's one of the reasons that I think he thought coming in, hey, I can overcome that. Yeah, they'll love me. And 30-5 is good at Arkansas Little Rock, but 30-5 would be okay, but not at with 55 to 53 point games. They're just not going to do that here. It's not Vegas style. You know, people don't play. They don't play things that are slow and steady. Very few people sit there and time after time after time go through the monotony of that to get winnings. They would rather this is a culture here in Las Vegas that it's about the big win right now. That's why they throw money on the crap table and all of a sudden, yo 11. You know, where the hell did that come from? You know how many other combinations there are other than 11 on them dice? So that's just the Las Vegas culture, and I think the guy saw that. And, Mark, it's not beyond the realm of possibility that he might have got a phone call. He said, "Hey, maybe you'd be happier elsewhere." He certainly wouldn't be the first visitor to Las Vegas that thought maybe they'd be happy here, and all of a sudden decided that maybe they wouldn't. And so I mean, I think you have to take everything into consideration, Mark, and say, okay, that's So certainly, if that would happen anywhere, I would certainly think that Las Vegas would be a prime candidate for this to be the spot where something like that would occur. And there's loyalty, and you're talking about business people. Well, okay, business people. If you've been in business for a real long time in Las Vegas, guess what? If that place has been around for 40 years, at some point in time in their business life, they had to deal with the mafia. So sometimes old friendships are worthwhile, and you never know, Mark. So stranger things have happened. So why don't you ask your buddy Frank? Give him a call.
Yeah. I'll do that. Yeah, but the people they had here as the assistants and all the backups walked away. They were hoping to stay here. They were hoping that it would be a locally named coach and someone who knows the legacy of the team. Some were saying that it was time to just finally clean house and start over. But yet, I don't know. I mean, if you got the legacy there, you've got the experience there, step it up a bit.
Again, you have to play it situationally, Mark. You play blackjack different when you're holding 16 and the dealer has a 10 than you do when you have 20. And you don't give a damn what the dealer has unless it's an ace. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you play things differently. Here was the situation. They fired Dave Rice mid-season, which rarely happens in college ball. It's almost always disastrous. If they time it right, they get the new guy with the recruits from where he was. He brings that group in, and obviously he was good at bringing groups in, or he wouldn't have had the success that led him to be your next coach. They just absolutely painted the guy into the corner recruiting wise. They could have done with a little common sense and a little guidance, a little somebody somewhere along the line had to bring that up at the damn meetings. Hey, we're going to fire Dave Rice. Okay, how's that going to recruit? What's that going to do to recruiting? I can't imagine somebody said that and got an honest answer, because they would have said, wait a minute, then why are we firing him in the middle of the season? Let him go to the end of the season. Let's see who's going to be available. Let's see what else is happening. We'll let it be known that we might be looking. We'll put those little rumors out there, and we say we don't respond to rumors, and we won't know until we know. And you can say all the BS that you want to say, that beating around the bush, but there's ways of programs letting it be known that they might have an opening. And then they start fielding calls. They don't make calls out. They start getting a call. Hey, this is Joe Blow, and we won 27 games this year. And we play in a conference nobody's ever heard of. Well, thanks, Joe. We'll get back with you. Leave your name and number at the beep. John Calipari, I'm tired of Kentucky. Yeah, so those are the kind of calls that you get. Not that I think John Calipari's leaving Kentucky, but that's what they did, Mark. So now the guy can't recruit. He could have had at least a fair shot at a decent recruiting class. We've lost eight or nine players that were on the roster this year have gone on, and they're not all going to play in the NBA. They're going to play ball somewhere. It screwed up a lot of kids everybody wants to holler about the education. Okay, guess what? That the repercussions of that are it screwed up some kids' educations along the line too. So there's a lot of blame to go around, Mark. And if you look at that athletic department, what a joke it's been lately, and what a well-oiled machine it was when Brad Rothermill was there, and Jerry Tarkanian was the coach, and to where it is now, boy, it's a long, long ways. You look at the coaching, I've always tried to tell them, and I actually said it to the current administration. I won't name her by name, that John Robinson and Bobby Hawk and Mike Sanford, and all of them didn't when they crossed the state line into Nevada. Something else that's working against them. There must be something else here. People in Montana are able to keep whatever few kids Montana might. People, the recruiting grounds are California, Florida, and Texas because they have more kids that can play than they have colleges for them to play at. In places that are more sparsely populated, they don't. So you can keep a kid here from Las Vegas at UNLV. You look at the NFL rosters. They're filled with kids that played high school ball here or semi-pro ball if they played at Gorman. But that was another joke. Anyway, we have a tremendous amount of talent here, Mark. Yes. And if a guy like Tony Sanchez can keep those kids here that had successful careers, whether it was at Gorman or wherever else it is, great. But what makes it successful is they're going to have to work on the arena. They're going to have to work on doing something that way, or they're never going. They might as well just let me coach. Let me and you coach and say, okay, or drop the football program, because you have to have a stadium, a state-of-the-art stadium, and state-of-the-art facilities to recruit and play for at least be in the hunt for a national championship, which is what they all want here. And that brings us back to the basketball squad. We don't want a team that goes out and 3 yards and a cloud of dust. They want a team that's going to pass the ball 90 times a game and put up incredible numbers and be fun to watch. And so by the time you're on your third martini at the game, you're really enjoying it. So, it doesn't put you to sleep. It keeps you invigorated as you're buzzing along. So, anyway, Mark, that's, again, I think there's going to be storylines. The repercussions of this deal are none of them are good for UNLV.
No.
The best, now they're down to how can we make the best of a bad situation? And I think there might be, I certainly think that I would be in favor of maybe a restructuring of the athletic department, top to bottom. You hang your hat on the people that you hire to do a good job. And when they don't do a good job, they go, and maybe you go too. Maybe we'll get rid of everybody. And I don't know if that's, but they're going to have to work hand in hand with Mr. Adelson and try to get this damn stadium built across the street. The FAA yesterday, the newscast said, we've got news on how much might be allowed height-wise. And now today's newspaper, the FAA says it could be just a little strip that would be restricted. Everything else, you can go over 200 feet. So they'll work the parking lot to be where that needs to be, where it's low, and they'll go from there. So the stadium's not a problem. They just have to get it built. And there are people at UNLV, there are people with the Sands Corporation and Sheldon Adelson that can get this done if they just cooperate. And without it, then they don't have a football program. Then it's all on basketball. Well, you just stab the knife in the goose that lays the golden eggs there. So I don't know what else. They fired Tim Chambers from basketball, who had a drinking problem. And for baseball, and he's a guy that had Bryce Harper and was good at recruiting and got those kids from Las Vegas to stay in Las Vegas, and he took his act from the College of Southern Nevada to UNLV, and I don't know whether it was the pressure or whatever, but somebody didn't do a real good job of realizing that my friend Tim Chambers, needed some help, and he didn't get help. He got fired. And now, like I say, guys don't forget how to coach when they cross the state lines, Mark. So then that person's job is to figure out what the hell's wrong and do something about it. Not keep doing the same thing over and over and over. You can't. 2 wrongs don't make a right. Well, I'm telling you, like 12 wrongs absolutely don't make a right. And that's where UNLV seems to be. You look at the coaches. Look at how they handled Dave Rice's firing. You start with Bobby Hawk, who came down from Montana, who had been able to coach successfully, recruit and coach successfully in Billings, frickin' Montana. Couldn't do the same thing here in Las Vegas. Then you go on. Then you move on. Okay, they had the deal and they got Tony Sanchez. Pretty good move. He's at least kept some of the talent here, but they're in this terrible conference. They don't have a TV contract worth a damn. You have to stand on your roof, face Mecca with a coat hanger in your hand to get the broadcast here. You know, they just keep stepping on their own hoodoo, and then they expect that they're going to be not feel any pain, and this is going to be a major thing. There's going to have to be some major money spent to get it righted. That's what it's going to come down to. They're going to have to get the stadium built, or their football team, and that program is absolutely stunted beyond any repair that I can see, Mark. If they don't get this going real quick with the basketball, they're going to stunt that and make that an absolute afterthought, a joke of a program. And what a shame that they play on Tarkanian court. You know, I mean, that's just a terrible thing to think of, and they're going to allow that to happen with this, and cause that to happen. They're not just allowing it. They don't just stand by and watch stuff happen. They create stuff to happen. So I don't know what's going to go on that way. I think the Warriors are going to win the NBA championship. I think Kobe's going to stay retired and probably do some things. I think he might do some social things. I think Kobe has quite a bit of social awareness, Mark. And I think, like I say, he's multilingual. I think he very much would like to do something. If I see him doing anything in basketball, I would think of him as doing something in Europe, because he was raised in Italy, and I think he's very well traveled and well spoken, and could, if that's what he's going to do. And I think you're certainly seeing a good amount of players coming in from that neck of the woods. So Kobe might be a real good fit for something like that, Mark. But I don't see him sitting on the sidelines coaching. I don't see him sitting in an announcer's booth and letting some jackass talk in his ear about when it's time to take a break or something. I just don't see that being something that's a good fit for Kobe. So speaking of breaks, did we take any breaks today?
Nah, we didn't do it.
Should we take a break here? We have an interview. I know we have to take a break for. We did a brief interview, so we'll take a break.
Okay.
And we'll be right back. All right, we're back.
That was a short break.
Longer break in the break. Okay. And anyhow, Mark, we're coming down to the nitty gritty now in pro basketball. We had one of the four golf majors. Mark, Tiger Woods didn't play in it. Nobody really gave a damn. Jordan Spieth had one of the biggest collapses ever in golf. He had a quadruple bogey. He did some terrible things and not only lost the green jacket, but had to put the green jacket on the guy who beat him, Willett from England, and had to put the jacket signifying the Masters victor on the guy that was the beneficiary of his huge collapse. I think he was up 3 with 5 or 6 to go, Mark, and lost the Masters championship. So, and that didn't even make the second page in last week, and that it just happened Sunday. So, all right. Well, is that it?
That's it.
Are we off and running? All right.
That's it.
Well, we do appreciate all of those listening and supporting. And we look forward to seeing you again, or you seeing us again, however that works. They used to hold up the little thing and say, I can see Ricky, and oh crap. So I didn't realize. My mom kept that going until I was probably 15, 16 years old. I thought they could see me out. So, all right. Thanks to all for listening. For Mark Anthony and all the fine folks here at Good Sports Media, we appreciate it. And we'll talk to you again. I'm Rick Rosen. Stay safe. Bye-bye.
Bye.